Your brain will much rather live with what hurts you because it's familiar, but not what's good because it doesn't know what's good. It doesn't know any better because the unknown is way too scary for it. And like, if you try to introduce anything, it will convince you that, like, hey, like, no, this is unknown, this is unsafe, just don't try, don't go through with it. Whenever you do come to introduce like a new mindset or make a change in your life or change a habit or whatnot, and because your brain thinks that what's familiar is what's safe, it clings onto these facts. And this is why it constantly tries to convince you with them over and over again into such a vicious cycle that you can't seem to get out of. When it comes to actually believing these lies that your brain makes up, this is actually also related to childhood. Most of us, we don't really carry our own set of beliefs like that. If you were around people that had a certain set of beliefs inflicted that upon you, and you grow up unconsciously taking them as your own when you didn't really believe that thing to be true deep down, but you just took it as your own because everybody around me convinced me so, then it must be true and it must be correct. It makes you realize that most of the lies that you believe from your brain are basically from your childhood. They are basically leftovers from your childhood where you learned that that was survival. That's what you needed in order to live. They're not really yours. Like, these thoughts are not actually yours. They're just somebody else's, and they gave them to you, and you took them as your own. You mistaken them to be true when they actually weren't true. It was just based on these people's perceptions of the world, whether it be their own fears, their own limitations, their own brain's lies that they believe. Maybe, for example, when you were growing up, you had to be perfect in order to be loved or feel enough. And so now that you're an adult, your brain tells you that, like, I'm not good enough. And you believe it because this is what your brain was rewired for from childhood. Your brain will believe whatever feels familiar. And so because this is a familiar feeling from childhood, then it thinks that this thinking is to be true when it's not. And so it takes this as a fact. And for example, if you felt unseen or unheard in your childhood, now that you're an adult, your brain will whisper to you, nobody notices me, or like nobody cares about me. And you will believe that lie again because your brain has taken it for a fact when it's actually not true.